This is an Olight Marauder Mini. It is rechargeable and it comes with a charging cable. You just plug it into a USB port and I'll show you the other end. It is magnetic, so it just snaps onto the bottom like that and it recharges. The battery is removable. I'll pause this video and show you the battery. So the bottom cover comes off and there's the inside. This is an Olight 32650 6500 milliamp hour lithium ion battery. This is a 7000 lumen flashlight. It is extremely bright. Has a battery gauge right there. You can see right now it's full, and the brightness level right now it's completely down at the bottom. Spotlight and floodlight mode. The floodlight mode is extremely bright, and of course to turn this flashlight on you need to turn the dial a little bit and then it will come on. If you just turn it off and you want to turn it back on again, you can just push it and it'll turn back on, but that is to prevent it from turning on if it's in a bag or something like that. So it does come with a little hand or wrist strap or whatever. And that is definitely correct, because this thing will get extremely warm when it's running on its highest setting. Spotlight is the middle LED, and then the outer LEDs are for the floodlight. And it does have RGB LEDs. That's what those three non-yellow colored ones are for. So we'll flick the dial a little bit. You have to turn it a bit and it will turn on. We'll start with spotlight mode. Turn the brightness all the way up. It will vibrate when it's at its limit. As you can see, we're all the way up at the top for brightness, and that is a very bright spotlight. I will turn the lights off so we can see exactly how bright it is. And this thing puts out some heat too. It is very bright. Now we'll go ahead and switch over to the floodlight mode. And there we go, that's at full brightness. It really lights things up good. Yeah, it's extremely bright. I'm going to leave it on for a little bit and we'll see how much the battery goes down. This is already getting warm. I don't know if it's meant to be run at this brightness for an extended period of time. I would think that you'd want to turn it down, which you certainly can. That's its lowest setting. That's its highest setting. Of course, you got the spotlight again. You can turn that down as well by turning the dial. So, yep, I'll leave it on for a bit and we'll see how much the battery goes down and how hot it gets. It does have a crowned bezel on it, so you can use it for self-defense. You can definitely blind someone easily with this thing. It is extremely bright. To switch over to RGB, you just hold the button down. There you got red, hold it down again, green, hold it down again, blue, and hold it down again to go back to normal mode. This flashlight goes for around $200, and I think it's worth it considering how bright it is and how well built it is. I also have an Olight Warrior 3S and a Seeker 3 Pro. I will be comparing those to this one. The Warrior is 2300 lumens, and I think the Seeker is 4000. When I do my long-term review, I will be sure to get footage of this outside. I will be taking it camping with me, and I'm sure it'll have no trouble lighting up the night. So we're going on about 10 minutes now, and the battery life is still at the top. It is warm. The whole flashlight does get quite warm, but it's not too hot to hold. This is quite hot up here, but I'm actually quite impressed with this. The fact that the battery gauge is still at full. I'll come back once we're at about 15 minutes and update you. So I just noticed something. It does seem to be thermally controlled because the brightness gauge is not going all the way up to the top anymore. Battery gauge is still at the top, but yeah, it is thermally controlled, which is a good thing because this will get quite hot on the highest setting. Yeah, that's a good thing. Alright, we are at about 15 minutes now. Probably actually had this thing on for about 20 minutes, and the battery's still full. So, yeah, that battery seems pretty impressive. And again, this has been on full brightness. Of course, it has turned itself down a notch because of the thermal control, but I think this is an excellent light. So, yep, battery is still full. Okay, it's been about a half an hour now. Let's see the battery life. Battery indicator is still full. It's still being thermally limited, which is good. It means it's designed well. It's pretty warm. It's not too warm to hold, but just keep in mind this thing is going to get quite warm, and you're not going to want to touch the top of it. So, I'm pretty impressed so far with this. So, I'm going to go ahead and turn it off and let it cool down. And that'll pretty much do it for this video. Thank you for watching. And just a little bit to add on here. It did go down a couple after turning it off. You can see it's down 2 notches, but I'm still pretty impressed with that because it was on full brightness. I'm sure if you ran it on a lower brightness, it would have even longer battery life. So there you go.